Well guys, another day, another pretty major Android leak to cover. This leak actually came from Google's own bug tracker of all things, where we actually got our first real world look at Aluminum OS. It's actually pretty wild, so real quick, let me show you what it looks like, and also if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Google news, you're going to want to subscribe to the 9 to 5 Google YouTube channel because there is so much news coming up in the pipeline and you definitely don't want to miss out on any of it. With that said guys, here's our first official look at Google's upcoming Aluminum OS. As I mentioned, this footage surfaced on Google's Issue Tracker website, which is a platform where Google engineers and outside partners go to fix bugs and suggest new features for the platform. In this particular instance, Aluminum OS came up in conversation because a developer was trying to troubleshoot some kind of bug involving Chrome incognito tabs, which makes the whole thing seem like a complete accident, like this was never really supposed to surface in this way, but instead it turned into some massive news story. Regardless, it isn't too bad. The screen recording is only a minute or two long, specifically showing the bug and how the developer tried to troubleshoot it, but there's still a ton of information that we can pull from this. For one, we did get a glimpse at an about page showing us some details, including the build number listed as ZL1A260119.001.A1. That 260119 number is actually super important because it's almost certainly a date code, meaning this was likely compiled on January 19th, 2026. If that's true, we're looking at a build that's barely less than 2 weeks old at the time of this recording. We also see it's running on Android 16, codenamed Baklava, and while you can't see it in the actual screen recording, the now deleted bug report did tell us that this version of Aluminum OS is running on an HP Elite Dragonfly 13.5 Chromebook, which uses a 12th gen Intel Core processor from 2021. Based on this information, I think we can connect the dots here for a few really important takeaways. For one, this does confirm Aluminum OS, at least on a technical level, is pretty far along. We're seeing it run pretty well in this short clip on relatively old third-party hardware. Also, this is just speculation, but the HP Elite being used for testing purposes uses an Intel processor. So maybe Google could be optimizing for the x86 architecture, which could mean there is some kind of hope of running real pro-level apps like Photoshop, Premiere, DaVinci Resolve. Again, that is purely speculation, or I guess you could say cope, because I think it would really help take this Android desktop project to the next level, so I hope we get some apps compatible for this x86 format. And that's what we can see on a technical level, but it's also really important to compare this version of Aluminum OS to the current desktop mode in Android 16 QPR Beta 3, where you can notice a few subtle but important changes. For one, the status bar has been adjusted a bit compared to QPR 3. Looking side by side, you can tell it's a bit taller and cleaner as a whole. On the left-hand side, you get the full time and date, and on the right-hand side, we see some more informative icons like Wi-Fi status, battery, a Gemini shortcut, and that screen recording chip that looks exactly the same as it does on Pixel. The cursor got a small change too, as it has a tail now. It does sound small, and it is, don't get me wrong, but that classic Android desktop mouse helps it feel a lot less like a mobile-facing interface. And lastly, probably the most important part of all this, in the footage, we see the Chrome browser, and in the top right corner, what do you see there? It's a little puzzle piece next to the search bar, and that's right, baby, plugins for Chrome are officially here. Obviously, yes, you can use plugins on a Chromebook right now, but not on a device running Android. Anyways, just take that with a grain of salt until we get an official announcement, but logically, Chrome with extensions is mandatory for a project of the scope. And while all this is great, I do have to be honest with you guys. Looking at this right now, I can't feel too excited at this very moment. Yes, it's great to see a snapshot in development. That way we can speculate and kind of get ahead on what we might see, but I still can't shake the feeling that we have a long way to go. To me, everything feels still way too early, which of course it is. This is footage from a leaked build, obviously. But aside from the status bar, this desktop interface looks exactly like the interface of my Pixel tablet sitting right in front of me. When I think about a desktop class operating system like Mac OS or Windows 11, there's a very specific level of refinement and a clear vision. To me, I'm wondering what Material 3 Expressive would actually look like if it were built from the ground up for a desktop class operating system. Right now, I'd say we just don't know, because this 1-minute video shows me what is effectively the existing UI for the Pixel tablet or desktop windowing on Pixel phones with a tweaked status bar at most. If I'm being optimistic on my best of best days, I would say it feels like Google is focused focusing on the core stability of aluminum OS, which is more than fair. I'm someone that does appreciate function over form, so as long as app compatibility and battery life is good, and we can get aluminum OS running on as many older Chromebook machines as possible, I would consider that to be a success at the bare minimum. But it's not about me in this situation. If you don't know, there's a massive strategic shift happening that I really don't see anyone talking about. Rumor has it, Apple is currently building a low-cost MacBook that is effectively designed to cut into Google's Chromebook market share. These rumors suggest the machine will be powered by the A18 Pro chip, and analysts are speculating the price point could be anywhere between $599 and $799. Apparently, mass production is starting in late 2025 or early 2026, which is right now, by the way, with a targeted release date for mid Q1 of 2026. To me, this is a huge threat to Google because Chromebooks are well known to be useful and probably super profitable in the education sector. This was a market that, in my eyes, was completely uncontested by Google until now with the rumors of this more affordable MacBook. So, while function over form is fine, don't get me wrong, if Apple releases a product that's meant for the same exact audience that has more polish, more power, a better reception, and better marketing, this could be a huge issue down the road. It means aluminum OS has to effectively be amazing on its first try, and I really hope that that's something that Google is considering during its development. At the end of the day, this leak is certainly the most Google thing to happen so far in 2026. That said, it's a great look at what's going on behind the scenes. Clearly, Google is hard at work refining the experience, and we'll just have to wait and see how things turn out when it releases. Hopefully, we get a sneak preview at or before Google I/O, but either way, let me know your thoughts on this whole aluminum OS situation. Are you excited? Do you agree with me that it could use a UI overhaul, or should they just keep it simple like the existing Chromebooks we have today? No extra fluff, just simple and straight to the point. Please don't leave without sharing your thoughts with the whole Android community. We would love to know what everyone is thinking. Until next time, this has been Jordan Floyd from 9to5 Google. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.